In this session, we will discuss about process management in Amoeba. We'll discuss about the basic information about process management, different process handling levels, a brief description about process descriptor, different types of process interface procedures, and threads in Amoeba. So let's discuss the basic information about process management. A process in Amoeba is basically an address space and a collection of threads that run in it. A process is an object in Amoeba. Now, when a process is created, the parent process is given a capability for the child process, just as with any other newly created object. So using this capability, the child can suspend or can be restarted, signaled, or even destroyed. In Amoeba, it is possible to create new processes on a specific processor with the intended memory image starting right at the beginning. A process can continue executing in parallel with its child and thus can create an arbitrary number of additional children. These children can create their own children, leading to a tree of processes. Now, which are the different process handling levels? There are basically three levels. At the lowest level are the process servers, which are kernel threads running on every machine. So to create a process on a given machine, another process does a remote procedure call with that machine's process server, providing it with the necessary information. At the next level, we have set a library procedures that provide more convenient interface for user programs. Here several flavors are provided. They do their job by calling the low-level interface procedures. Finally, the simplest way to create a process is to use the run server, which does most of the work of determining where to run the new process. Now let's discuss about the process descriptor. A process descriptor provides information about the process to be run. One field tells which CPU architecture the process can run on. Another field contains the process owner capability. When the process terminates or is stunned, RPCs will be done using this capability to report the event. It also contains descriptors for all the process segments, which collectively define its address space, as well as descriptors for all its threads. Finally, the process descriptor also contains a descriptor for each thread. The process. The content of a thread descriptor is architecture dependent, but as bare minimum. It contains the thread program counter and a stack pointer. It may also contain additional information necessary to run the threads, including other registers, the thread state, and various flags. Brand new processes contain only one thread in their process descriptor, but stunned processes may have several or may have created additional threads before being stunned. Now, the process interface procedures. The first interface procedure is exe. It has two input parameters. First one, the capability of a process server and a process descriptor. Now, its function is to do an RPC with the specified process server asking it to run the process. If the call is successful, a capability for the new process is returned to the caller for use in controlling the process later. Now some of the library procedure. Now one of the library procedures get load. Now this particular procedure returns information about the CPU speed, current load, and amount of memory free at that moment. It is used by the run server to determine the best place to execute a new process. The next library procedure is the stun. A process parent can suspend it by stunning it. More commonly, the parent can give the process capability to a debugger, which can stun it and later restart it for interactive debugging purposes. Whereas with a normal stun, the process sends a message to the server it is currently waiting for by saying, I have been stunned. Finish your work instantly and send me a reply. So if the server is also blocked, waiting for another server, the message is propagated further all the way down the line till the end. The server at the end of the line is expected to reply immediately with a special error message. So in this way, all the pending RPCs are terminated almost immediately in a clean way, with all the servers finishing properly. Now this nesting structure is not violated and no long jumps are needed. Another library procedure is the emergency stun. An emergency stun stops the process instantly and does not send any message to the server that are currently working for stun process. The computation being done by the servers become orphans. So when the servers finally finish and send replies, these replies are ultimately discarded. Moving towards threads, Amoeba supports simple thread model. When a process starts up, it has one thread. During execution, the process can create additional threads and existing threads can terminate. When a new thread is created, the parameter that the call specify the procedure to run and the size of the initial step. Although all threads in a process share the same program, text, and global data, each thread has its own stack pointer, and its own copy of machine registers. In addition, if a thread wants to create and use variables that are global to all its procedure but are invisible to other threads, then library procedures are provided for that purpose, and such variables are called as glocal. There are different methods which are provided for threads to synchronize. One is by using signals, mutex, and semaphores. So the signals can be raised and also caught or be ignored. Asynchronous interrupts between processes use the stun mechanism. A mutex is like a binary semaphore. It can be in one of two states. Either it can be locked or it can be unlocked. Trying to lock and unlock mutex causes it to become locked. The calling thread then continues. Trying to lock a mutex that is already locked causes the calling thread to block until another thread unlocks the mutex. If more than one thread is waiting on a mutex, when the mutex is unlocked, exactly one thread will be released. In addition to the calls to lock and unlock mutexes, there is one that tries to lock a mutex. But if it is unable to do so within a specified interval, it times out and returns an error code. Mutexes are much more fairer and respect their thread priorities. Finally, semaphores. Semaphores are slower than mutexes. An additional call is provided to allow a down operation to time out if it is unable to succeed within a specified interval.